welcome Rick Byrne. He is the state president, and he traveled many miles, actually just from up the road in Denver, to come join us today. So we are very honored to have him come speak at our rally.
Thank you, Rick!
Why do you want your coat? Come on. It's not. I appreciate everybody coming out today and being here. Thank you, John, for the invitation, and Jacinta. We have so many rallies going on today across the country, and I can't thank letter carriers enough. I can't thank each and every one of you enough, because today is our day of action. When I was asked to come down here, I only drove, a couple hours, not a problem. I said, yes, I'll be there. Then I got a call and said, hey, will you come to the state capitol in Denver, because we're going to be there with 3 different branches. And I said, no, because I'm committed to Colorado Springs. I want to thank Doug Janes, legislative chair for the Colorado Letter Carriers. Thank you, Doug. We all got a little history lesson today on letter carriers and what we do for our customers, what we do for the service, exactly the service, not the business, and what we do to take care of our customers. Day in and day out, we are there for everybody out there. Just a couple of days ago up in Washington, D.C., we had our Heroes Luncheon. And we had heroes, letter carrier heroes from all across the country who were recognized. We have letter carriers who have pulled people out of burning houses. We have letter carriers who have saved lives. Even in my career as a letter carrier, I've had a few doors kicked in by law enforcement because I knew my customer probably needed help, and they did. Day in and day out, we have letter carriers who are there for their customers, and we thank them for what they do, and their customers love them. You've heard about the level of percentages of, hey, letter carriers. Everybody loves their letter carrier. Congress would love to have our percentages, right? Yes. They can't even get above 50. They're lucky if they're above 30. I'll tell you, Jacinta and John picked a great place for this rally, didn't they? A couple of things I want to talk about, because it wasn't even just a few short years ago we were having a couple of rallies throughout Colorado talking about letter carriers and the Protect Our Letter Carriers Act, and we had letter carriers getting attacked and robbed out on the street. We're bringing that back. It's been reintroduced, but not only are we bringing that back so that we can have our letter carriers across the country protected, but now there's those up in Congress and those in this administration who just want to throw us away. And that's unacceptable. I mean, during COVID, like it was discussed, who was out there every day, day in and day out, bringing supplies to people's homes, bringing medication, bringing COVID packs, masks, everything else? It was your letter carrier. We weren't working remotely. We weren't sitting at home getting paid. We're out there on the streets every day taking care of our customers because we love our customers. And that's all we're asking from you. Every letter carrier that's out there today, here's my ask of you. Take action. Go to NALC.org. You know the website. And it's not hard. NALC.org/action. Register and take action. Now you have those of you that are not letter carriers, I ask you to reach out. That was just mentioned a few minutes ago. Contact your United States Senators, Bennett and Hickenlooper, and ask them to have our back. Also, not everyone here is from this congressional district. Find out who your representative is, contact them, and ask them to take action and have our back. Because your letter carriers, your clerks, your mail handlers, everybody deserves to have their back on this situation and say hell no to privatization, right? Hell no! Hell no! Hell no! Hell no! Now, one thing I would like to do is I'd like to introduce, because I know she comes to so many of these things, and she's not going to get up here and speak, but I just wanted to say, Christy Bowers, she is the regional administrative assistant for our region in Denver, and she drove all the way down here today to give us support too. So Christy, thank you for being here. I'm not going to throw her under the bus and have her get up here and talk, but I just wanted to go through a few things. My dad, I just talked to him on Facebook a couple days ago. He lives down in Texas, and he said, I bet you about 98% of the American public do not know that the Postal Service is not federally funded. And I said, I know. I talked to a customer on my route the other day, and he made a mistake when he said, my taxes pay your salary. So I just educated him politely, and he didn't know it. And he thanked me for letting him know the truth. So we need to do that. We need to, these postcards that Jacinta was talking about, take some of those, give them to your neighbors, hand them out. If you go to a community group, let people know that the Postal Service is not for sale. Hell no to privatization, but make them aware that off of postal stamps, postal services, that is what keeps the Postal Service alive. And the last thing we need is to be gutted and thrown away. That's right. All right? We have over 5,000 city letter carriers here in Colorado. And I can't thank them enough for what they do day in and day out. Over the last several years, you guys have seen it on the news. We've had letter carriers attacked. We've had them robbed. We've had them assaulted. Just to give you a little statistic. In the Denver metro area, and I even throw in Colorado Springs, that's a red light, thank you for stopping. Attacks on letter carriers have increased over 300%. 300%. And I know that sounds like a major number. You're thinking, oh my gosh, 300% attacks on letter carriers. But the problem is, when you go from 0 to 22, it really throws that number up there. Luckily, here in Colorado, we haven't had any fatalities or any severe injuries. But I would also, my ask of you is to, when you reach out to your representative or you reach out to your senator, ask them to support our back and protect our Letter Carriers Act and get that passed through Congress. All right? So, 640,000 postal employees, including the 200,000 city letter carriers represented by the NALC, are under direct threat from privatization. As was mentioned earlier, the universal service every American relies on is under threat. I've been to some of these small towns out in Sterling and eastern Colorado where years ago everyone would come to the town square to go to the courthouse, they'd come in town, get their groceries, and come to the post office. And we need to make sure that that's not taken away. Because we know if privatization happens, these small rural areas are not going to see mail, except maybe once or twice a week, if that. We can't let that happen. Millions of households and businesses, especially in rural America, need the United States Postal Service. Now, what would the consequences be? Jeopardizing the jobs of 7.9 million people employed by a $1.92 trillion mailing industry. $1.92 trillion mailing industry. It's not just letter carriers, not just postal employees, but everybody who's related and touches that mail. Reducing services to 51.5 million households. I know when Doug and we were in DC a few weeks ago for the national rally, and we had a few new people with us, so we took him into the U.S. Capitol for a tour. And we were sitting there watching the video. And what popped on that screen? The United States Postal Service is in the Constitution. And we all just sort of looked at each other and said, why don't other people know this? You know, why don't our leaders in Congress know this? They forget so much. They drink the Kool-Aid, right? The Constitution, like Doug said earlier, gives Congress, not the president and not his minions, a key role in setting postal policy. It's mandated by federal law, and USPS has been an independent, self-sufficient agency for 55 years. And some of you may not know it, but later this year, the United States Postal Service, 250 years. It's actually older than our country. So, I mean, we're going to have some celebrations throughout the year, but thinking about that, the United States Postal Service is older than the United States. All right? Hell no! All right, so I'll shut up. I know you guys, some of you are slowly moving out in the sunshine. I can't thank you guys enough for being here, and we need to keep this going. This is not just a one-day event. Educate those around you, and take the time, share it on social media. There are things we can do to educate, but we can take the high road and be positive about it. And when we have to push back, we will push back. And this is just one step towards that direction. Thank you for being here.